Kia ora guys, so today we have our third and final part of my interview with Sensei Dan Antonsen Gojyu-Ryu Karate Sensei Kobudo Sensei, high level human being. I hope you enjoy it. One of the things that Antonsen Sensei does, and that I was able to, well, I'm not going to say I was able to bend his arm because I'd probably get punched if I tried it, but what I was able to ask him to do is provide some details. If you're wanting to take a tour, a private tour, around the island with a great tour guide who knows a lot of the locals, has a great time, is a great dude, then you can't go past Dan Sensei. So what I've done in the liners, I've dropped his email. Now, if you're trying to contact him on social media, he's one of those guys who has a life. So he's out there doing it, so he's not a big social media guy, but if you drop him an email, I'm sure we'll hook you up. Anyway, with that being said, as they say, on with the show. Fairly recently, Sensei Antonsen was picked to be part of a demonstration for the Imperial House of Japan. Now, for those who don't understand or perhaps don't have an understanding of how big a deal that is, I know that Hanshi, Patrick McCarthy, James, myself, Josh, everyone, the whole sort of, I guess, foreign karate community in and around Okinawa, both in Okinawa and out, we're so excited at the prospect of that, because we understand what a massive deal that is, irrespective of whether you're from Japan or Okinawa or from elsewhere. A huge deal. You're one of the few people to have ever, accomplished that, Sensei. And I know because of the nature of your personality, that's not something you would have sought or perhaps even thought was a possibility. So if you can you walk us kind of through how that happened, what it was like, and
Sure.
what the aftermath was like?
So,
Kia ora, I'm Tuari Dawson, and you're listening to the Invisible Sensei podcast.
of course, the Emperor of Japan is the head of Shintoism in the religion, and the main number one Shinto shrine in Okinawa is Nami no Ue Shrine, which is the beach where I always train at, Nami no Ue Beach. So our dojo has a bit of a connection. Our Yegi Sensei knows the head priest there. So they approached our dojo and asked us if we would be willing to do a 15-minute demonstration during the lantern lighting ceremony, which is the Japanese War Memorial Day. And the emperor always comes to Okinawa during this because the Battle of Okinawa. And so we were asked to put together a 15-minute demonstration for the royal family. It was actually the emperor, his wife, and his daughter. Of course, they viewed the demonstration from their hotel room, which was bordered on the park that we demonstrated in, but they were up in the window there. I tried to keep a very low key about it. Initially, we were asked not to post on social media, and the security was unbelievable. There were literally 1,000 police officers. You had to go through several checkpoints to get even close to the emperor, and they take it very seriously. In fact, the next morning I was practicing at the beach at Nami no Ue, and the emperor was going to make a visit to the shrine. And I'm on the beach with my weapons, and a police officer came down to talk to me, and he said, "You didn't see me here the last couple of days?" They were there in their plain clothes, getting familiar with where their post was be. And he said, "The emperor's scheduled to be here between 10 and 11. Would you mind leaving?" And I was towards the end. I'm, of course, very complacent, and yes, we'll leave. So running up to the event, I tried to keep it low key, and I didn't want to really get overexcited and, maybe just stay calm. And so coincidentally, both our senior students, Yagi Sensei's, both his sons happened to be off island at the time. Akihito Sensei was in Canada, and Akihiro Sensei was doing a demonstration in Tokyo. So our senior student was asked to put it together and kind of be the conductor, Ota Senpai, who's been in the dojo like 55 years. And then I was the next practicing senior student, and the foreigner in the dojo, and I was asked to do an individual kata, kind of to represent the expansion of karate and the foreigners who practice karate around the world. They kind of joked because initially it was a lot of American servicemen that took karate to North America, and that I was a Canadian. But so they asked me to do an individual kata, and I think our dojo put on a fantastic performance. And I rarely post after. It took me 3 days to put it together and put the post on social media because I really wanted to consider what we're doing and not. I don't like to toot my own horn, and just kind of present what a good demonstration the dojo did for the emperor, not just myself. But I was the only one to do an individual kata, and then participated in 3 other group 2 kata. We did kotiki tai for the emperor, and we do kakomi kumite, the 5-man drill where we really bang the arms a lot, and put on a pretty good demonstration for the emperor. And the whole dojo came through. I think not just myself, but the dojo. And you can see how excited the Japanese students were. They were beside themselves at the opportunity, and for them to perform for the emperor, probably a lifetime event for them and myself. But like I said, I just wanted to keep it low key.
I was happy, one, that you had that opportunity, I guess, and I think I dropped you a message something later on and said, on behalf of, thank you for representing all of us who love karate and are not from Okinawa.
Luckily, it was me as a foreigner. Joke, 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 joke. Because some people with egos are big as it is, and they would have got blown out of the water too much. And I just wanted to keep it as low key as possible and as humbly as possible and I hope I represented foreigners adequately in my performance.
Way more than adequately. I was very proud of you, Sensei. I was like, I know him. I've got his T-shirt. So no, it's really wonderful, Sensei. I mean,
Thank you.
from another perspective, you did introduce me to your family restaurant, George's. And that I will eternally be grateful for that. I don't know if James Sensei would be grateful and Josh Sensei, because we get in there and we just it's like an eating competition. And you did set the bar very high, but I'm coming back to reclaim my crown.
But the food is unbelievably delicious.
It is really good.
And literally, I worked in the kitchen there for 2 years when I first came to Okinawa, and it's scratch restaurant. The pizza dough, the pizza sauce, the pizza meat, the taco shells are made in the morning, every morning from scratch, and the ingredients are all high level. And I know the level of quality of food that the restaurant produces. So the family's pretty proud of that. And my wife's mother established the restaurant in 1954. And I actually met my wife in the restaurant. She was a professional odori dancer, Ryukyu dancer. And when she retired, she was working in the restaurant in the hall. And I walked in and I'm like, there she is. And she's like, get away from me, you foreigner. And but actually, so I owe a lot to karate, because if I hadn't come here to study karate and the Yagi family, I never would have met my wife. I never would have had my family. So my wife always says everything is connected. And so I owe having a family to my study of karate, which family is the most important thing. Family first and training after. My wife always says, you love karate more than me. And I say, I love karate. I'm in love with you. There's a difference.
Ooh, I'm going to use that, Sensei.
Everybody can use that too if they like.
Thank you. That's, guys. If you don't, if you're, ladies and gentlemen, if you're having that difficult conversation with a significant other, that is a mic drop moment there, Sensei. That is a mic drop moment, Sensei. I suppose we're coming sort of drawing to the end of our time together. And I guess I'd love to hand it over to you for the final word. And I guess the question that I want to ask is, what is the value of coming to Okinawa? what is the value of continuing to practice your karate wherever you are, with or without coming to Okinawa. And as men of a certain generation, I'm in my 50s, you're in your late 20s. Um,
Yes.
how do we continually light that fire? And as Miyagi Sensei said to you, up to as Richard Kim Sensei said to you, how do we continually, keep the fire burning?
You have to seek the way. We talk about do, and the interesting thing about karate, you can do it your entire life, and it's a worthy endeavor. And if you practice MMA or competition kumite, and eventually that's going to end. And but if you traditional karate, you go to the dojo, you can practice the rest of your life. And I don't know if it'll make you live longer. It might, because it's a healthy lifestyle. But I think the quality of life is enhanced from study of karate or kobudo. And we have many practitioners in our dojo in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. We just had a new student join about a month ago. He's 73. Um, there was a very famous, a semi-famous Okinawan. He started in our dojo when he was 74. He was the dean of the Ryukyu University, and when he had retired from the university, wanted to study a new pursuit. And he was actually a surviving member of the Blood and Guts Iron Corps, the conscripted children or teenage youth that fought in World War II as the Okinawans when he was 15 years old. And he practiced until he was 90 and was very good. You can actually Google him and see him doing a kata at 88 on YouTube, Synagogue Sensei, and amazing. And Dai Sensei Meitoko Yagi, he lived till he was 91 or 92, depending on how you count. But he was teaching in the dojo until he was 90. And I learned a lot of lessons from him. His English wasn't, he didn't have any English, but his son translated from us. So his son, Yagi Meitatsu, was a big influence on transmitting the information from Meitoko Yagi.
And just finally, when last time I was in Okinawa, I was very lucky to be able to share some of Maori culture and our Maori weaponry uh, with.
I thoroughly enjoyed your class. I got a lot. I came out of it with a big black eye.
Not from me, not from
Not
me.
from you, but
No.
I would have been honored to. But it was amazing the similarities and the differences together was just amazing. And because I like the Aku and the similarities. And when we were practicing in the water, and I enjoyed your seminar very much.
Well, we're not here to talk about me, Sensei. Thank you for that kind compliment. My point
Mhm.
is that I've seen Antonsen Sensei being able to literally, if not physically, then attitudinally, just put on a white belt and just be excited and really positive about learning, Sensei. And I thank you for bringing that to everything you do. I always enjoy spending time with you. You're so excited, open, animated, and energetic. So I'm looking forward to seeing you again, Sensei, when I'm
Me
over here
too.
this year.
And I know you're coming in October to Okinawa again, so we'll have a chance to train on the beach and go to George's and
Oh, I'm looking
and
forward. Yeah,
get to know each other better.
yes, Sensei. So thank you again. Is there anything you'd like, any message you'd like to put out for people? Any final word you'd like to have to a word of encouragement for those people coming to Okinawa or out there practicing karate in the back of beyond?
So if you have the desire to come to Okinawa, come. There's like you mentioned, there are some of us foreigners here. We act as liaisons, free of charge. We'll do introductions to dojos, help you get established. If you have any problems, any questions, ask me anytime. And I know this goes for Josh Simmers and James Pankratz and Scott Mertz and Ron Nix, who we haven't mentioned, who's been one of the longest time foreigners here, and of course always McCarthy Sensei. There are a few others, but we act as liaisons and kind of a bridge. So you don't need to be connected with one of the dojos. You don't have to go through the official karate tourism lines because it could prove to be fairly expensive, just contact one of us and we'll give you the information you need and get you started.
Awesome, Sensei. Sorry, please.
And it would be our pleasure to help. And
but don't take
McCarthy
advantage.
Sensei always says
don't take advantage.
It's please take advantage. It's my pleasure, and I get to meet people. I get, some people come do some of my classes. Would I be honored? So we it's the generosity of the karate community, I think, that puts us together. And worldwide, we know people from Russia and China and Ukraine and America and Australia. And we, when the Russian students come here, they're great, and it's the people that makes the difference. And I think we have that camaraderie and the bond that transcends borders and countries.
It's just as we fade out, Sensei, I'd like to acknowledge also too, you mentioned the Nix family, who do incredible karate. In terms of the relationships that the foreign karate Sensei have in Okinawa, I was really lucky to see you guys all hang out together, and it's like being around a family reunion. It's so wonderful to see that and know that I can attest to that's actually how it's done. So look, Sensei, thank you so much for taking time to be on the podcast. I find you to be one of the most inspiring Sensei that I've met on a lot of levels, technically, attitudinally, and also, you've set the bar high, especially when we go and have a coffee and after training meal at George's. So thank you again, Sensei.
My absolute pleasure. I'm honored.
Going on that you want to jump on, Sensei, at any time, please come back. If there's anything you want to have a rant and a rave about, like that strange Māori guy with the tattoos on his face who turned up to Okinawa, and ruined it.
I'm kind of hoping you come up to because I know you study Goju, and I'm giving you an invitation to come up to Yagi Dojo and do a class, and I'm sure they would love to meet you, and you're larger than life also. So one of these characters I'd be proud to introduce, and you could see the traditional Goju dojo here in Okinawa. Well, they have an open door policy.
I'll take you up on that, but the thing is, the way that I interpret that as well, larger than life means a bigger target to hit.
So I'm a small man, right? We've met, and I think one of the reasons my dad introduced me in martial arts when I was 8 years old, because he's Norwegian, he's huge. My cousins are huge. My uncles are huge. My mother's Sicilian. She's Italian, and I took after her. I'm kind of a small guy, but I always said I'm proud of my height, what little of it there is. Lots of small men, and the stereotype, they have a small man, little man syndrome. But I never really had that. I was always pretty strong, quite athletic. Played hockey with in there banging it. So I think my father's concerns of me being small were unwarranted. But I appreciate the introduction that he gave me at a young age into something that's exotic and from the other side of the world. As martial arts is kind of one of the attractions for Westerners, and I owe him a lot.